Hello and welcome to Tarot with Tanya. This is 7 cards for 7 days, and we are looking at the week of Monday, September 23rd to Sunday, September 29th, which is one of my sister's birthdays, so happy birthday to you. As always, take what resonates for you, leave the rest behind. It's a general reading for the collective. Really appreciate you being here. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you are new. So what I will do is talk about some of the aspects, the astrological aspects for the week, and then we'll get into the cards, and we'll end with an oracle card. So we begin our week with the moon in Gemini. So likes to talk, communicate, buzz around. You know, this is Mercury ruled with the wings on the sandals and so forth. So it could be a lot of mental energy, desire to communicate. And then we'll end our week, that Sunday will be the moon in Virgo, and that's the earthy, the practical, getting things done, very good analytical ability, dedicated to work, service, so forth. So during the week, we have on Tuesday, the 24th, Mercury trining Uranus. Remember, those trines are the easy ones. So I just mentioned Mercury, you know, being ruler of Gemini, and here, when you have it connecting like this in a harmonious flow to Uranus, you've got some original thinking, some very progressive thinking potentially. Can be quite creative insights. Could be traveling, could be teaching, could be publishing. All of things are very favored when you have that trine between Mercury and Uranus. Then on the next day, the 25th, or Wednesday, Mercury opposes Neptune. So Mercury's quite active this week. Now, it's also trining Pluto that same day. So it may feel like we're absent-minded, a little bit foggy, because, you know, Neptune is dissolving everything, putting us in one big collective unconscious kind of soup. So when our thinking is, you know, in opposition to that, that's where we can get that kind of feeling, perhaps a little bit lazy, a little bit ineffective, prone to daydreaming, and very imaginative. So on the other hand, because you've got the Mercury also trining Pluto, we may see things very deeply. So we've got different kinds of energies happening there, and we might be very attracted to mystery. So our mental capacity, that Mercury vibration, and then going into that very transformative depth of Pluto could lead to that. So it's a good time to work on the self in that way. Then when we get to the 26th, our Thursday, again, Mercury, this time Mercury entering Libra. So that'll put love on our minds. Libra is a sign of relationship. It will take our focus there, most likely, Mercury being the mind and entering that sign of Libra. And we're going to be wondering what works in a relationship, what doesn't work in relationships. We are more interested perhaps in teamwork, in peace, in, of course, balance, because that's what Libra is about, the scales and keeping things in balance, harmony, diplomacy. And finally, on my sister's birthday, the 29th, we have Mars trining Saturn. So that's going to be a great day for any kind of endeavor that is requiring concentration, experience, efficiency. So we're very resourceful. I mean, Mars is our actions. Saturn is that disciplinarian, the one that helps you get things done, get your focus on something. And then Mars will help you act to get it done. So we're seeking that energetic action, and it's very good also for our common sense and orderly action as well, because the Saturn will help make it more orderly. All right, busy week that way. Now for the cards, I'm using the, oh darn it, I just blanked on the name of this deck. It'll come back to me. It's one that's common. You'll recognize it. Our Monday begins with the Eight of Swords, and these are always, at least in my experience, very dramatic looking cards, but they're on the mental realm, so it's in our imaginations. It's not that somebody is bound and trapped in a way, but if you really look at the so-called trap here, it's open. One can walk out of it. So the constraints are mental, and frequently, I mean, that you can even tell that the bindings around the arms and body are very loose. Probably the hands could easily be freed. Pull off the blindfold. So again, it's an internal thing, not an external. So just realizing we're not trapped like we might think we are, that there is another perspective or a way out of a situation. And the eights are connected to strength. So believe in that inner strength and see what might come up when you try to tap it. On our Tuesday, we get the Four of Wands. So on the whole, there are more masculine cards this week. And I heard another astrologer say something about Chiron still being in Aries and trying to heal toxic masculinity and extending that into all action, actually. Because Aries is ruled by Mars, and again, that's our action. So what is a good use of that masculine energy? So here we have the Four that connects it to the Emperor. So wise leadership, potentially knowing when to celebrate. And the opposite of that could be knowing when to be still. But here there's often the sense of the celebration is coming or is at hand. Now we move a little bit more into the feminine finally on Wednesday when we go to the Two of Cups. Often this is seen as love. If it in a non-romantic sense, it can be agreements, contracts, people negotiating things. It can be a balance between your inner feminine and masculine. So it's a soft energy too, connected to the High Priestess. So indulge your heart that day. Try to be in inner harmony and feel balanced and intuitive. The energy will be there. And if there's any kind of a conflict, just try to drop back into that within your heart. When we get to Thursday, we're back to the masculine energy. So we've had two swords at this point, one fire. Fire and swords, or air and fire, are the masculine elements in the tarot, and recognized as that generally. And here we have a king. We also have two kings this week, so there's a lot of pairing going on. And this one is obviously the swords. And of all the kings, he's a fairly gentle one. I've always liked that he has some grains in his hand. He is, very focused, looking straight forward. This represents strong mental, verbal ability, communication ability, able to say things in a very precise manner. Now it can go too far and can feel like you're being sliced up, or you can be the one doing that. So just be mindful that we might encounter a person with very strong communication ability, or it might be an energy we channel ourselves, and we just want to do that responsibly. So Friday's nice. Friday we get back to the feminine and the earth this time, not the water. So doing practical things. If it happens to be the end of your work week, good time to reground, go home. I like that little door, the different flowers. This is this kind of hand of spirit that runs through Morgan Greer. I knew the name would come back to this Morgan Greer deck. Which of course has been made famous in the Rider-Waite with the hands that present from the world of spirit. So here it's an earthy present to get regrounded in the body and start something new perhaps. And then on our Saturday, we get that second king, also in a masculine element, fire this time, or wands. And if you notice in this deck, the kings, these kings are looking sideways. They're not looking directly at us. I feel like in a way that's to represent that the power is there and we feel it, but it does not need to be directed head on. I have a dear friend who talks about the difference between a fire hose and a garden hose. So with this masculine energy, it can be very powerful, and turning sideways, I think, helps. It's there, and it can be used very well, wisely, but perhaps softened a bit in that sense too. So this one is very instinctual, very able to get things done. So, you know, the King of Swords will be talking, this one will be doing. All right, our last card for our week. This is our one and only major. It is our second one, because we had the Ace of Pentacles, and here we have a 10. In numerology, it's a 1, and obviously it's the Wheel of Fortune. So sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Obviously, the idea of the wheel keeps turning. I always feel like this is for a positive change. I forgot to mention at the beginning, of course, that we went to the equinox, the autumn equinox. So now we're in that place, briefly, where the day and night are the same length, and then we'll be moving into longer days, longer nights, shorter days, here in the northern hemisphere anyway. And so that does affect us. It's part of the natural season. And now it could be other things going on personally, but certainly in a big way that's happening seasonally. All right, and you know, that emphasis too on change and whether we do it internally or externally. I mean, I think that's just something maybe to be watching out for this week in a positive way. All right, so we will end with an oracle card from the Tree Keeper's Oracle, and we got the Keeper of Wishes today. These are such beautiful cards. And somehow this feels right to me, something about ending with that Wheel of Fortune on Sunday, the Ace of Pentacles on Friday, that we are, you know, being encouraged to go into our positive wishes. So, Keeper of Wishes, when you live with trees, you come to understand the importance of wishes. For every acorn contains the wish of a magnificent oak. So it is with all trees. They drop seed wishes onto the ground in hopes that many will take root and grow into their full potential. Now is the time to let yourself wish. Plant those hopes and dreams into the fertile ground of your own creativity. Make them into an earth offering, like coins in a wishing well. Nurture them. Turn your what ifs into why nots, as if failure were not an option. And I always love it when, like the British say, give it a go. And kids are like that, they'll give it a go. And again, I'm feeling like we're really getting some encouragement to do something a bit differently, start something new this week, between this Ace of Pentacles, our Wheel of Fortune, and our Keeper of Wishes. And what did she say? It's a woman who wrote this. Seed wishes. Drop our seed wishes onto the ground. All right, beloveds, thank you again so much for being here. I'm wishing everybody the most positive week you can have. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please leave them. And please share, like, subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you again in a week, in 7 days. And also consider a personal reading, and let me know if you have questions about that. All right, beloveds, have a good one.